He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000. Laughed at my losses, mocked my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands? Hath not a Jew organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the very same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you and the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Why? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what is his sufferance then? By Christian example. The villainy that you teach me, I will execute. And it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction.
What are you looking at? So I'm having a few drinks with my mates. It's allowed. We've been through this. I'm sick of it. Jesus, it wasn't my fault. I was defending myself. He was drunk, he started it. Everyone saw that. Even the police said it. Alright, I was drunk as well. But it's not as if I'm some scumbag who goes around attacking people. The lads know that. They'll tell you. I only hit him once. You know, it wasn't even that hard. He just fell. Even the doctor at the trial said it wasn't really my fault. If he hadn't been drinking, he could have stopped himself from falling. You heard that? Alright. If I hadn't been drinking, I probably wouldn't have hit him. It's easy for you to say. You think I like this? You think I like having you constantly in my ear? Blah, blah. You think I don't see him? Every fucking day I see him. Every time I close my eyes, he's just there. Just lying there. It sneaks up on me from nowhere and hits me like a fucking train. You think I like that? Fuck you. See you again in a while.
I ate them. That's right. I ate the divorce papers, Charles. And I ate them with ketchup. And they were good. Real good. You want me to get serious about this divorce, but you always used to call our marriage a joke. So let's use logic in here, shall we? If A, we've never had a serious marriage, then B, we can never have a serious divorce, right? No, Charles, we can't. Of course not. This whole thing is a joke, right? I mean, even last week, when your father asked you the reason why you walked down that aisle with me, and you said, for the exercise. That's funny, Charles. It's real funny. I'm not crying, no. I'm laughing because you wouldn't give up on a woman who is infinitely lovable, right? No. This whole thing, it's a farce. It's a farce that tastes good with ketchup. It's a joke. Yes, it's a joke. And, you know, I'm still waiting for you to say April's Fool, and I will just rush into your arms and... not going to, are you? No. Of course not. It's the middle of December. So, the truth is, Charles, the truth is that I ate the divorce papers.
So, simple facts. So, a single man lives in a castle in the middle of the town, and he lives with dwarfs. Nothing wrong with that, but they're orange dwarfs with green hair. Why are they orange? Why did they get green hair? Why are they dwarfs in the first place? You see where I'm going with this? In the real world, it would have been a fat German kid who falls in the chocolate river at the beginning of the tour. In the real world, he is the winner. This is how it really ends. He falls in. Daddy gets these big shot lawyers to sue the shit out of Willy Wonka. They look into his shady past, his dodgy personal life with the little orange midgets, and they make shit out of him. They run him through the press with paedophilia ringing through his ears. Willy Wonka is done. He's no more. He's doing 25 years in a high security prison, being passed around his fellow prisoners like a proverbial box of quality streets. That's it, the Germans win. Alright, you know, like, the Germans always win on the outside. Little fat German kid. Augustus, yeah. He gets it. He gets it all in the settlement, right? Yeah, he gets everything, okay? And because he's a fat glutton, he eats all the chocolate. And the more the Oompa Loompas make, the more Augustus eats. He's 18 years old and 40 stone. He reaches for the TV remote and he dies. That is the real world. Of a massive coronary sclerosis, you know? Do you understand this? What do you not get about this? No! It's a lie! What's the point? What are they telling us? You know, writers, publishers, our parents, Harry fucking Potter, you know, in the real world, he's still under the staircase. He's a 30-year-old retard with his own under the stairs language. What's the point? Fuck off. Life's too short. Society wants to evolve in any way. The world needs to be told what's really happening.
Once more, unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the actions of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favoured rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pride through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow overwhelm it as faithfully as doth the galled rock, overhang and juggy his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. I set the teeth, and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, on, you noblest English, whose blood is spat from fathers of war-proof. Fathers that, like so many Alexanders have in these parts, from morn till even fought, and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonour not your mothers, nor attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George.
Okay, I think we might have a bit of a problem. I kinda maybe sorta just a bit maybe killed Chuck. Yeah, he's just lying out there. He's not moving. I don't think he's breathing. I mean, I was just on the roof with Melissa, talking, laughing, having a great time. Told her she reminds me of Sandra Bullock. Told her I loved Hope Floats. Who knew those be the magic words? Next thing you know, clothes are off, we're kissing, touching, grinding, biting, and suddenly someone's beating on me, like beating and growling. Yeah, growling. I look up and there's Chuck. And I'm like, what's the problem, Chuck? And he's like, the problem is, you're fucking my girlfriend, you ball bag. And I'm like, wait. You're his girlfriend, Chuck's girlfriend? And she's like, no! So then it just turns out that Chuck's just wants her to be his girlfriend, but she's his cousin or some shit, I don't know, wasn't listening. But then he starts going about all the feelings he has for her, and Harry just wishes she would love him like him, and then he starts crying. So that ruined the mood. Melissa gets up, puts her clothes back on, and walks back down to the party. And I'm left with blubbering, whining, crying Chuck. And he starts going on about how much of a total fuck up he is. Harry throw himself off the roof, and for a second I'm like, yes, do that, throw yourself off the roof. But I don't say that. No, I'm the better man in this situation. I put my hand on his back and tell him, Chuck, buddy, you're gonna get yourself a girl. Just a thought. Just we tell you what. Maybe not your cousin. And then I give him a big manly slap in the. I mean, he looked heavy. I mean, who knew he'd go flying off the roof? Who knew?
He was a boy. Just a boy when I was a very young girl. When I was 16, I made the discovery. Love. All at once and much, much too completely. It was like you suddenly turned a blinding light on something that had always been half in shadow. At least that's how it struck the world for me, but I was unlucky. Deluded. There was something different about the boy. A nervousness. A softness and tenderness which wasn't like a man's, although he wasn't in the least bit effeminate looking, still. That thing was there. He came to me for help. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything until after we'd run away and come back, and all I knew was I had failed him in some mysterious way and wasn't able to give him the help he needed but couldn't speak of. He was in the quicksands and clutching at me, but I wasn't keeping him out, I was going in with him. I didn't know that. And then I found out. In the worst of all possible ways. By coming suddenly in a room that I thought was empty, but wasn't empty. But it had two people in it. The boy I had married, and another man he'd been friends with for years. Afterwards, we pretended like nothing had been discovered. Yes, we drove out to Moonlight Casino, very drunk and laughing all the way. We danced the Varsuviana. Suddenly, in the middle of the dance, the boy I'd married broke away from me and ran out of the casino. A moment later, I shot. I ran out. All did. All ran and gathered about the terrible thing at the edge of the lake. I couldn't get near for the crowding. And then I felt a hand on my arm and a voice said, "Stop. Don't get any closer. You don't want to see." See? See what? And then I heard voices say, "Alan. Alan. The grey boy." He put a pistol into his mouth and fired so that the back of his head had been blown away. It was because, unable to stop myself, I'd said, "I saw. I know. You disgust me." And then the searchlight that had been turned on the world was turned off again. And never for any moment since then has there been any light brighter than this kitchen candle.
So, Doctor, you think I'm crazy? What is crazy? Define crazy. It's crazy losing your children in fire. You could have prevented just by checking their pockets. On the floor for that one little match you missed. Or explaining a little bit more about the dangers of playing with fire. Is that crazy? No! I am not crazy. But do you know what is? They found the bodies of my innocent babies behind the furnace! The furnace! I didn't even think a rat could fit behind that furnace. But there they were, huddled together, arms wrapped around each other, trying to protect themselves from the flames. Why then? Why not me? I'm not even 3 years old yet. I am old. I have lived a long enough life. Why did God take away 2 children if He loves them so much? I know what you're thinking now. You think I'm crazy? But what is crazy? Where is crazy? When is crazy? Why do you think you can tell people they are crazy? Define crazy. So who's crazy, Doctor? Me? Or you? Not me, Doc. It must be you.
Our Tarquin thus did softly press the rushes, ere he wakened the chastity he wounded. Cytherea, how bravely thou becomest thy bed, fresh lily, whiter than the sheets, that I might touch. But kiss, one kiss, rubies unparagoned, how dearly they do it. 'Tis her breathing perfumes the chamber thus. The flame of the taper bows toward her, and under peep her lids to see the enclosed lights, like canopied under these windows, white and azure, laced with blue of heaven's own tinct. But my design to note the chamber, I will write all down. Such and such pictures, there the window, such the adornment of her bed, the arras, figures, why such and such, and the contents of the story. Oh, but some natural notes about her body, above 10,000 mere movables, would testify to enrich mine inventory. O sleep, thy ip of death, lie dull upon her, and be her sense but as a monument thus in a chapel lying. Come off, come off. As slippery as the Gordian knot was hard, 'tis mine. And this will witness outwardly, as strongly as the conscience does within, to the madding of her lord. Upon her left breast a mole, sink spotted like crimson drops at the bottom of a cowslip. Here's a voucher stronger than ever law could make. Will force him think I've picked the lock and ta'en the treasure of her honour. No more. To what end? Why should I write this down that's riveted, screwed to my memory? She hath been reading late. Tale of Tereus. Here the leaves turn down, where Philomel gave up. I have enough. I have enough. To the trunk again, and shut the spring of it. Swift, swift, you dragons of the night, dawning may bear the raven's eye. Though this a heavenly angel, hell is here. 1, 2, 3. Time, time.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation divinely to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that final sleep of death what dreams may come, and as we shuffle off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office. That patient merit of the unworthy takes when he himself might his quietus make.
Bird Bodkin, who would Fardell's bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life? Aye, but that the dread of something after death. The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller's returns puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sick laid o'er with pale cast of thought and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With that regard, our currents turn up high.
I was born breech on the 8th of March, jaundiced, sickly child. My mother was advised by the ward sister to take me home and love me, because I probably wouldn't last long. She was also advised by the Grand Master of the local Orange Lodge that I wouldn't die, because the 8th of March is the anniversary of William, Prince Orange's death. And this, it seems, was a good omen. He said I should be called Mary, after King Mary's wife. I didn't die, but I wasn't called Mary either. It's a kind of Catholic name in Northern Ireland, and my mother didn't fancy it at all. She called me Elizabeth, after the Earl of the Throne. She carried me to the field at Finicky when I was 4 months old. She was sitting on the grass when a man in a clerical collar came up and patted us both on the head. "I'm proud of your daughter," he said to my mother. "Coming all this way with a young baby, women like you are the backbone of Ulster." She was very proud that a man like that should have come up and spoken to the likes of her and paid her such a compliment. I have an image in my mind of that day. Hedges littered with empty bottles, bits of red, white and blue paper. Of course I couldn't possibly remember it. I was only 4 months old. But I've heard that story and all the other family stories so often that I feel I can remember and see clearly things that happened even before I was born. Like the day my Uncle Samuel went off to fight for king and country. Inevitably he would be seriously injured. My mother and grandmother went to him in St. Luke's Hospital, Bradford. I went too, barely formed within inside my mother's womb. It was a beautiful day the day we arrived. The wounded lay on stretchers, their bandages removed. Seemingly there was some desperate hope that exposure to the sun's rays could prevent the spread of gangrene. Luckily the weather turned cold and the doomed soldiers were allowed inside to die. We stayed for 2 weeks. The day after we arrived back, they received the telegram to say that Uncle Samuel had died. And eventually the army sorted out what Samuel had earned while in France. They counted up all the 7 shillings and deducted an amount for the cost of the kit that he'd lost on the beaches of Dunkirk. The army did, however, provide a free of charge war grave in the Belfast cemetery. My mother scrubbed boards in a bakery to pay for a white marble headstone and surround. I had a long time to prepare for my mother's death. I used to sit and watch her sleeping and wondering what I'd do first when it happened. Would I send for a minister, phone relatives, send for a doctor or an undertaker? I did these things later. But first, I covered all the mirrors in the house with starched white linen cloths, just as my grandmother had taught me, so the evil spirits could not reflect away my mother's soul.
Have you ever had a night that started out like any other, but turned out to be one of the best nights of your life? Well, for me, that was June 22nd, 1990. It was our last day of school. There was Oliver Chamberlain, Peter Page, Stephen Prince, Andy Knightley, and me. They called me the King. Because that's my name, Gary King. Ollie. He thought he was a bit of a player, but well, frankly he was more of an old man. He had a birthmark shaped like an O on his forehead, so we called him O-Man. He loved that. Pete was the baby of the group. Wasn't the sort of kid we'd usually hang out with, got bullied a lot, but he was good for a laugh. And he was absolutely minted. Steve was pretty cool. We jammed together, chased the girls. Yeah. I think he sort of saw us as rivals in a sense. Kind of sweet really in hindsight. And Andy was my wingman. The one guy I could always count on to have my back. Always. He loved me. And I'm not being funny, but I loved him too. There was nothing we were going to miss about school. Well, maybe Mr. Shepherd. He was one of the good ones. He used to ask me, what do you want to do with your life? I just told him I wanted to have a good time. He thought that was funny. It wasn't meant to be. Not that night anyway. Newton Haven was our hometown, our playground, our universe. And that night was the site of a glorious quest. A quest down the golden mile of alcoholic indulgence. We had 12 pubs. The First Post, the Old Familiar, the Famous Cock, the Cross Hands, the Good Companions, the Trusty Servant, the Two-Headed Dog, the Mermaid, the Beehive, the Hole in the Wall, and before we reached number 12, the World's End, our destiny. We took my car into town that night, ready to begin our journey into manhood. We called her the Beast because, well, frankly, she was a bit hairy. But we hit pub 1, and we hit it hard. There was drinking, there was laughs, there was drama, there were ladies, and of course, there was drinking. By pub 5, we were feeling invincible, so we decided to purchase a little bit of a herbal refreshment from a man we called the Reverend Green. Pint 6, though, put O-Man out of commission, so we had to bench him. Though frankly, that was a good thing. I ran into his sister in pub 7, we went into the Sables, and I bumped into her again. Sam tagged along for a while, but in the end, I had to ditch her. I had another date that night, and her name was Amber. Pub 9, we were 9 pints in, and things were going fine, but things got a bit mental in the Beehive, so we tailed it out to the smokehouse. And frankly, that's where everything went tits up. Pete chucked, and we had to bench him as well. Everyone got paranoid, so there was not much else we could do but run for the hills. As I sat up there on that hill watching the sun rise over Newton Haven, with blood on my knuckles, beer down my shirt, sick on my shoes, I couldn't help but feel that life would never be this good again. And you know what? It never was. What's that? Do I regret it? About regret not making it to the World's End? No.
Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working on his visage waned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, and a broken voice, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. For what's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? If he had but the motive and the cue for passion that I have, he would drown the stage in tears and cleave the general ear with hard speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I peak like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. On that card, who calls me villain, breaks my paid across,
plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me lie the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this, huh? Swoons I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region's kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, lecherous, treacherous, kindless villain, oh vengeance! Why, what? An ass am I. This is most brave that I, the son of a father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing like a very drab scullion. Fie upon a foe about my brain. I have heard that guilty creature sitting at a play hath by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions for murder, though it hath no tongue, speaks with most miraculous working. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. Yes, the spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath powers to assume a pleasing shape. Yeah, perhaps out of my weakness and melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play is the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
The first time I tried to kill myself, I was only 10. When I woke up in the morning, I was happy. I was relieved that I hadn't succeeded. I've tried to kill myself many times. I've tried hanging myself and drowning myself, suffocating myself, and even trying to throw myself into traffic. And now when I wake up after taking every sleeping pill and down a bottle of wine, I don't feel happy. I don't even feel relieved. You know, some people say, oh, suicide, it's taking the easy way out. Well, let me tell you, it's not that easy. See, your physical drive to live undermines your mind's desire to die. Your heart doesn't want to stop beating. The first time I ended up in hospital, it was almost a relief. I could cry and no one wanted to blame themselves. I just cried all day. No, the honesty felt good. But then I started to look at the people around me. I was surrounded by people who'd been miserable their entire lives. There's an 81-year-old woman sitting over there. And every day, she would stare into the space crying. And she would ask me, why won't they just let me die? I don't have the answer. You know, I know no therapy can help me. I know no medication can fix me. I know that I'm always that one day away from killing myself. I know any day could be my last.
You carry all those bricks for anyway? God? Is that it? God? Let me tell you. Let me give you a little inside information about God. He's a prankster. Think about it. He gives man instincts. He gives you all this extraordinary gift, and then what does he do? I swear, for his own amusement, for his own sick, cosmic gag reel, he sets rules in opposition. It's a goof of all time. Look, but don't touch. Touch, but don't taste. Taste, but don't swallow. And while you're jumping from one foot to the next, what is he doing? He's laughing his sick fucking ass off. He's a tight ass. He's a sadist. He's an absentee landlord. Worship that? Never. I've been here on the ground with my nose in it since the whole thing began. I've nurtured every sensation man has been inspired to have. I listened to what he wanted and I never judged him. Why? Because I never rejected him, in spite of all his imperfections. I'm a fan of man. I'm a humanist. Maybe the last humanist. Who, Rachel, in the right mind, could possibly deny the 21st century wasn't entirely mine? All of it, Rachel. All of it. I'm peaking. It's my time now. And the next 1,000 years is right around the corner, children. Words buy futures, sell futures, when there is no future. What are we left with? A billion sinners waiting to jump on a runaway train, just waiting for their chance to fist fuck God's axe planet, lick their fingers clean before reaching out to their pristine Saber Alley keyboards that tore up their billable fucking hours. But then it hit something. You're going to have to pay for all those sins, sweetie. It's a little late in the game to buy out now. By now your belly is full, your dick is sore, and your eyes are red. And you're all crying out for help. But guess what? There's no one there. You're all alone, sweetie. You're no longer God's special little creature. You're mine.
O night, whichever art, when day is not. O night, alack, alack, alack. I fear my Thisbe's promise is forgotten. And now, thou wall, thou sweet, thou lovely wall, that standeth between her father's grounds and mine. O wall, O sweet, O lovely wall, show me thy chink, that I might blink through with mine eye. Thanks, courteous wall. Jove shield thee well for this. But what I see, no Thisbe do I see. O wicked wall from whom I see no bliss, cursed be thy stones for thus deceiving me. I see a voice. Now will I to the chink to spy, and I can hear my Thisbe's face. Thisbe! Think what thou wilt. I am thy lover's grace, and like Lamander am I trusty still. Not Cephalus the Procrus was so true. Oh, kiss me through the hole in this vile wall. Can I at Ninny's tomb meet me straightway? Sweet moon, I thank thee for thy sunny beams. I thank thee, moon, for shining now so bright. For by thy gracious, golden, glittering gleams, I trust to take off truest Thisbe's sight. But stay, O spite, but mark, poor night, O dread.
I'm a happily married woman. I must try to remember that. He's my husband, and my children are upstairs in bed. I'm a happily married woman. Or at least I was, until a couple of weeks ago. I've been so foolish, I've fallen in love. I didn't think violent things like that could happen to ordinary people. It all started in the most ordinary room, ordinary place in the world, in the refreshment room at Milford Junction. I was having a cup of coffee and then all of a sudden I felt something get into my eye. And it was so painful I could hardly blink. I got up and I tried to fix it and then suddenly he was there. Alec. He said he was a doctor and he asked if he could have a look, and before I could say anything he'd already taken a piece of grit out of my eye. He was such a gentleman, he really was. And that's how it all began, but that's all it was, and I completely forgot about the whole incident, at least I thought I had, and then the next Thursday I saw him again. I was having lunch at the Cardamom Cafe. It was very, very crowded, and I saw him come through the door. There was nowhere for him to sit, so I said, you can sit at my table, and he did. I happened to mention that I was going to the pictures that afternoon, and he asked if he could come with me. It seemed so silly to say no, so he did. We went to the pictures, and then on the way back to the station he put his hand under my arm. I didn't notice it then, but I remember it now. Then the next Thursday he was waiting for me early that day, and we went to the pictures again. And then we went to the park, and then we went to the lake, and it was a mad, wonderful afternoon. I felt like a young girl all over again. I watched the red light of his train disappear whenever we left. And just for a moment I wondered, what would he tell his wife when he went home? Would he say, I saw that woman from the station again, we went to the pictures? And then all of a sudden I felt sure that he wouldn't. I felt sure that he wouldn't say anything at all. And I ran home. This can't last. This misery can't last. I have to remember that and try to control myself. Nothing lasts, really. Neither happiness or despair. Not even life lasts very long. There will come a time in the future when I can look back quite peacefully upon this and say how silly I was. I don't want that time to come back.
Okay. She's waiting. Okay. Hey, Nan. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, everything's fine. Is Shauna okay? That's okay. Yeah, just keep her asleep. She's definitely not going to be able to go to school tomorrow. Well, I didn't really get to explain everything, so look. You know how Shauna and Mum fight. This is just the usual prop. And then the screaming started. I'm sorry now. Yeah, I know. I love you. Okay. The doctors say that she took a mental break. She doesn't know who I am. No, my mom doesn't know who I am. I'm sorry. No, I'm okay. He says there's nothing mentally, physically wrong. Her heart's fine, her head's okay, there's nothing there. He just said it might be stress, with Shauna, with you, with me, I don't know. But she's not coming home. No, not for now. No, Nan, you can't come down. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Emma? Am I not supposed to have any patience to get to the end of. Do you think that I'm crazy about the warehouse? Do you think that I'm in love with the Continental Shoemakers? Do you honestly think that I want to spend 50 years of my life, Mother, down that hellhole? But I'll go. I'll go tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that, for a pittance a week, as you know. And I'll give up all my hopes and all my dreams, and I could have been something. I know I could have been something. And the joke is, you say, I just think about myself. If I thought only about myself, Mother, I would be where my father is now. Long gone from here, believe you me. I don't have to listen to this. What? Oh, drug dens, Mother.
Beautiful. Isn't it funny how a single word can change into so many colours over the course of a lifetime? You are so beautiful. My husband used to say to me when we were first going out. And then once we got married, it was always on his lips. Isn't this food, isn't the wine, isn't this banquet beautiful? Isn't our life beautiful, beautiful, beautiful? After 7 weeks, I started to bleed. Crimson trestles down my thighs. Every day for 12 years. And because we bleed, we are unclean. And when we're unclean, we can't be touched.
Yes, our members are all aces. Our officers, but I'm a member here and I got no experience in fit either. Today I couldn't wear my union button. The damnest thing happened. When I take off the old coat off the wall, I see she's smoking. Yeah, the old celluloid was making the most god-awful stink. The landlady come up and give me help. You know what happened? The old union button just blushed itself to death. Ha! Ashamed! Can you beat it? The answer is, if we're red, we want to strike. Then we take over their salute too. You know how they do it? An uppercut! The good old uppercut to the chain! Hell, some of us ain't got a shirt to our backs! What the boss class trying to do? Make a nudist colony out of us? Don't laugh. It's not funny.
Cameron, you ready? Okay, so my name is Jenny. I'm a Virgo. I enjoy sports. I like well-dressed men. That's extremely important. If a guy's slob, he does not have a chance. But I just melt for a suit and tie. And I like my men tall. 6 foot exactly, as a matter of fact. I guess I'm a little OCD. I haven't had much luck with dating. My first boyfriend, gosh, he was just love of my life. Trevor. 6 foot exactly, which I like. And a stockbroker, so that meant suits to work every day.
This might sound kind of weird, but he sort of smelled like my father. Is that weird? Is it weird that I like that? Anyway, things didn't work out, obviously. No ring on this finger. After that, there was Kevin, and Manuel, and Derek. They were pretty much exact repeats of the relationship with Trevor. That's when they label you an actual serial killer around your 4th or 5th victim. Oh, did I not say how the relationships ended? Yeah, I probably should have put that out there at the start, but you know, a girl's got to look after herself.
I told you I was telling the truth, Daddy. I'm sorry I lied to you. But you lied to me too. You told me everybody was the same, deserved a fair break, but you meant everybody who was like you. You told me to change the world, make it better. What you meant by becoming a lawyer or an economist and marrying someone from Harvard. I'm not proud of myself, but I'm in this family too where you can't keep giving me the silent treatment.
I don't know. I have these strange thoughts. They're not violent. No, some of them are violent. Like the other day, I was talking to this old woman, and I don't know, I just wanted to do something outrageous to her. Like slap her, or pull out her false teeth, or play with the flap on her face. I mean, I wouldn't. But it is something I think about. You know, when I was younger, I used to think that I could talk to God. I used to think I could talk to God better than anybody else in the whole world. And I couldn't understand why world leaders didn't come to me to ask God to solve all the world's problems. Hell, I was in church with my family, and my mother, she was a beautiful woman. She looked like those Italian women you see on the jars of spaghetti sauce. Yeah, and she had these big old bosoms, and I liked them. And I don't care what that sounds like, because they were my favorite part of my mother. Hell, remember when my father died? She showed great dignity. She said to me, "You go in there and take care of your sister." And I said, "But I want to take care of you."
3 minutes until the biggest fight of our professional lives. It all comes down to today. And either we heal as a team, or we will crumble as individuals. We're in hell now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can choose to stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back to the light. We can claw our way out of hell, 1 inch at a time. No, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. But I look around me and I see all these young faces and I think to myself, alright, let's put it this way. I've made just about every mistake that a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I've chased off everyone who ever loved me. And lately I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. I'll tell you something else. When you get older, things get taken from you. That's just part of life. But you only realize that when you start to lose things. And that's when you come to find out that life is a game of inches. And so's football. Oh yeah. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, half a second too soon or too late, you don't quite make it. An inch this way or that way, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are all around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute and every second.